Welcome back, everybody. Brian Leister here at the CMET Training Center of Excellence in Rock Lidditz in beautiful Lidditz, Pennsylvania. With me today is Nick Fleming, and we're going to be talking about our integrated load cells.
That's right. So CM has a very long-standing reputation for providing a very robust and reliable product. So we've partnered with Motion Labs to develop this integrated load cell that meets that same standard of being robust and reliable. So Brian, as an entertainment rigger, do you have much experience with integrated load cells, and just what's your general thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be able to work with this because I have dealt with load cells before, but they've always been external load cells, you know, either like a shackle or this longer piece. So that usually adds about 6 to 18 inches of space that I need when I'm hanging up a rig, right? And that doesn't always jive well with things like, you know, theatrical environments, working under a roof system. Other environments like that where you need that extra bit of height, like ballrooms, for instance, usually have very low headroom. So getting back that bit of headroom is definitely a win for me. Also having less connections, right? The more connections you have in line, that's more potential points of failure. So minimizing that's a good idea. And I've also noticed that those external load cells, they always get put in extra road cases, right? Yeah. So a couple less road cases is always a great idea. But those road cases they're in are like padded. And what I really like about this is the fact that it's secured in the strongest part of the hoist, right in that suspension cavity right there. So it's going to be, you know, just as resistant to weather effects. So it really complements well with the new, you know, IP ratings on our hoists. And it doesn't change the dimensions of the hoist. So I don't have to get, you know, brand new road cases to accommodate this. It doesn't really change anything outside of the hoist. So I really enjoy that about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that it's underneath the suspension, you're absolutely right. It's protected from the abuse that you would see on the everyday entertainment rigging job, right? But it also is protected on the elements as well. So the weather's not going to get to it as it would an external unit because of where it's located underneath the suspension.
Okay, well, I do have a question about why did CM go with a wired system as opposed to a wireless system?
Yeah, so the short answer is essentially reliability, right? We don't, in the entertainment industry, we can't have hiccups or issues, right? Signal loss, connectivity issues that would cause our hoist to not operate in the function that it's supposed to, right? So essentially, the hardwire system provides that reliability that we would need in the entertainment field.
Well, I suppose I'm running cables anyway. So now, when it comes to that wired system, there's a lot of numbers and stuff on here that I'm not familiar with. What kind of connectivity can I get there? Do I have options, or is it just one system I can connect to?
So yeah, there's two options that we make available to all of our end users, and one would be the 12-volt digital, which would line up with all the Motion Labs load monitoring systems. But if you're not using a Motion Lab system, we also have a 420 milliamp analog version that can be used as well.
Excellent. Okay, well, how about accuracy? How accurate is it?
Accuracy is plus or minus 2%, which is essentially the industry standard for load cells, so plus or minus 2.
Okay. And, you know, that accuracy, will it fade over time? Do I have to have this calibrated annually, or?
So there is no annual calibration needed. You are going to want to check it with your load test. So when you're doing your load test annually, just make sure that it's reading the proper amount that you're lifting. And if for some reason it's not, then you would have to take it for calibration to a designated calibration facility by CM. But the beauty part about that, Brian, is you don't have to send the whole hoist, right? You can just take the suspension off, send the tiny suspension back to the facility. You don't have to ship the whole hoist, which is a great benefit.
So when it comes to my options with getting this kind of system, I'm assuming I can already buy a hoist with this already built in, but if I've got hundreds of hoists in my inventory and I want to retrofit them, is there a retrofit kit? Can I apply that to a hoist that I already have?
Yeah, absolutely. So all new hoist, except for the RRS units. The RRS units are essentially the only hoist that our load cells won't work with. That and double reeve units. We'll get into that more in a second. But all new units, except for what we mentioned, coming out of the factory, can be equipped with the load cells. But it's also completely retrofittable for all of our older Lodestar units as well, both IP54 and IP66, classic and next gen, small frame, large frame. It's all included. As I said, the only thing that's not included with either a new hoist or a retrofittable hoist is RRS and double reeve units. Those two are not included with the load cells.
Great. Well, thanks, Nick, and thank you all for joining us. If you want to watch the next video, we're going to get into how all this works, break down a hoist, and drill some holes and get the wires in there.